welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV, where we are here in the Bardessian Annex in Sharlayan, and have to decide which quest to follow first. Do we go with Thanquid? Do we go to Thavnair with Thanquid, Estinian, and Riange, or do we investigate what's up here in Sharlayan with Krai, Y'shtola, Graha, Alphino, and Alize? And I've decided we first go to Thavnair. I have Kroid's instruction in hand. If you're ready to set out, then so are we. Having been to Thavnair before, I can travel by Telephoroi, but what of the rest of you? And our sea voyage was to waste time we do not have. Kroid was of the same mind, and has already secured the aid of the good folk of the Confluence. We'll take ourselves there. The Confluence, thou sayest? I'm afraid so, my friend. What's up? Thou wilt recall the hunt for Iceheart, unto whose sanctuary we delivered thee owing to the knowledge of our comrade Moonbreeder. Moonbreeder was an authority on aetherology, a field of study she did embark upon in pursuit of her parents' example. Both are authorities in their own right, and both are researchers at the Confluence. Have you gone to see them yet? No. I attempted to do so earlier, but to my shame, my courage failed me at the last. As it has the many times I fought to reach out to them after sending that fateful letter. Neither time nor introspection have revealed unto me the words I should speak, and thus have I kept my silence. Whether you come with us or no is your choice and yours alone. If it's too difficult, we'll manage. Thou art kind to say so, but I have no intention of forsaking our cause. I shall go to the Confluence, and I shall face that which has long been overdue. If that's settled, then let's be off. When we arrive, we should look for a researcher named Kite. Good. And let's go to Kite. Well now, this is rather a lot of stern faces. Are my library books overdue again? Not to our knowledge, we are associates of Kryl, the students of Bardessian. We seek passage to the Thavnair, and understand you can assist us. Ah, the test subjects, welcome, welcome! What? Test subjects? Oh, you hadn't heard? Well then, allow me to explain. So in order to travel to an Telephoroi, you ordinarily need to be attuned to it beforehand. Otherwise you can't use it as a beacon to seek out while you're a mass of aether hurtling along the livestream. An inconvenient but incontrovertible limitation of Telephoroi teleportation. But what if I were to tell you that there was a way to travel to an Telephoroi without being attuned to it? A way to teleport instantly to places you've never been. For long years, we've labored to make such travel possible, that people might move about more freely. And we've finally done it. We've created a new kind of Telephoroi that doesn't require attunement. Truly? That changes everything. Well, my language may have been misleading. The user need not attune to these Telephoroi, but the Telephoroi themselves must be pre-attuned to each other, thereby facilitating travel between the 2 points. But it just so happens that of our first pair of Aephorites, one has been installed here in Sharlayan, and the other over in Yedlimad, a port town in Thavnair. As you may know, our nation has long maintained strong ties with Razatan, and indeed, we owe much of this breakthrough to the contribution of their alchemists. So to sum up, we are to test these Aephorites. How fortuitous for you. I should mention that an accident has impaired my ability to channel Aether. Will this be a problem? Not at all. As a matter of fact, you might say these Aephorites were made for people like your good self. The magics imbued within will whisk your way without any effort on your part. A veritable dream come true. And far be it from me to worry about such things. But do we have permission to make use of your shiny new invention? The only permission required is yours, so assuming you're willing, we're all set. It may come as a surprise, but we actually struggle to find test subjects. Most people seem to have an unreasonable fear of us so gradually disintegrating as they drift helplessly in the livestream, in the statistically unlikely event that something goes awry. But it's plain that you aren't most people. Mistress Quire truly knows how to pick them. If I might change the subject, Master Wilson and Mistress Blovida not present today. Oh, you didn't hear? They've recently resigned their posts. Their expertise was needed elsewhere. A large-scale project helmed by the forum itself, as I understand, but I'm not privy to the details. I see. Any other questions? No? Then let's get going before you change your minds. Please, see to your preparations and head outside to the Aephorite Plaza. I'll be along shortly. In case you're wondering, the Aephorite still functions like a normal one. It's just been upgraded to allow unattuned travel. I'll see you there shortly. I shall teleport the tried and trusted way. Good luck. Given my experience with teleportation, I'd be lying if I said I didn't have reservations. But I will trust in Kryl. Though words unsaid yet weigh heavy on my heart, I should devote mine all to our task in Thavnair.
Right, we're all set.
That voice, ouch.
Just the 4 of you, was it?
3. I'm already attuned to the crystal in Thavnair.
You are? Oh, I would have preferred more test subjects. Oh, well, never mind. If our 3 travellers could line up here, please.
All right. Getting to safety?
Yes, right there is fine. Take a deep breath, and I'll soon have you soaring through the ether. Oh, and one last thing. You might experience a teensy-weensy touch of violent ethereal sickness. Good luck!
What?
Whoops, forgot to mention that. Not that we had a choice. Unless we want a weeks-long travel to Thavnair by boat, This is our only option.
Thavnair, home to city-state Rads at Han. Rising from the southeast waters of the Bounty, this Isle of Plenty served as the battleground for a conflict between two peoples. Their cultures bled into one another until a unique amalgamation was distilled from the chaos, in a process not unlike their precious alchemy. Once solidified as a single nation, an adamant stance of neutrality would hold invaders at bay. For a time. Now across this vibrant isle creeps a fog of malice. What choice do you have? What chance? Against such an insidious foe.
We're feeling miserable.
I've seen fairer faces after a bout of bad shellfish. Let me bring you something to drink. That should help settle your bellies.
There was a note with Kryle's instructions.
What?
Don't let a Stinian roam the markets alone. He's alarmingly bad with coin.
And you're telling me now? Well, gotta do what you gotta do. You managed to will yourself to your feet, but given your condition, will you be able to reach Estinian in time? For sickness. A junk monger, yeah. You're there. I need 3 drinks. Something that helps with air for sickness. Brother Manusia, a traveler. I mean, greetings. Greetings and welcome. You're wise, good sir, to come to me. My special Amra Lassi, made with only the finest and freshest ingredients, is famed for calming unruly bellies. By way of a warm welcome to Thavnair, I'm pleased to offer it to you for the low price of 19,800 gil. For not 1, not 2, but 3 bottles. A bargain amongst bargains. Oh. The price is high road robbery, and you want to say as much to a Stinian, but you realize that any words of warning you cry out would be accompanied by your last meal. You must stand before Estinian and use gestures. Deny that the deal is fair. Deny? I thought you could barely stand. What do you need to tell me that's so urgent? Wait, I shouldn't buy the lassie? The merchant is swindling me? Ah! A sincerest apology, sir, but I appear to have my prices confused. It's actually 1,890 gil for 3 bottles of lassie. Huh, that confusion would have been costly for both of us. Very well, then. Your coin. Here, a bottle for each of you. Take them to the others and get some rest. I'll be back after I've explored the town. Praise be to the 12. My stomach does loosen its death grip. My heartfelt thanks to thee and Estinian, and to the fine fruits of his land. You were in time? Excellent, you've spared us Tataru's wrath. Ah, but he already went on again. Sweet. Sweet release. If you haven't already, you should have yours too. Right, I'm ready to get on with it, but lassie truly worked wonders. Back on your feet, I see. Thy hair? I have bound it. It's the most I could do against the heat, short of shedding my armor. May I ask where you got the cord for it? A local vendor. The man said it's a Thavnairian weave, tough and not easily unraveled. And how much did it cost? 9,400 gil, a steal, I was told. 'Tis nothing fancy, but of always valid function over form. That's incredible. I guess not even Alfino could hold a candle to you. I expected the Azure Dragoon to put up more of a fight now. It's not uncommon for merchants to set their prices high, but doesn't it seem excessive? I'm inclined to agree with thine assessment. It does seem excessive. Unusually so. Claiming Thavnair as its dominion, the nation of Razatan has long thrived as a hub of commerce. In the beginning, there were the Akasodora, a Matanga tribe indigenous to this island. Over time they came to be joined by other races, and through their interminglement a culture rich and distinct did emerge. From alchemy to textiles, the products of Hunnish culture have come to be celebrated and coveted the world over. A development only aided by the nation's prime location as a waypoint betwixt east and west. All of this have combined to make a trading power of Razatan, yet such status cannot be taken for granted. Nay, it must needs be maintained through judicious governance and stringent regulation. Neither of which I see any evidence, given that merchants at the gateway town are free to fleece hapless travelers and tarnish the reputation of a nation at large. Just so. But opportunistic pricing is rampant does suggest that oversight is much weakened. Or mayhap that the people have fallen upon hard times. Yeah, the merchants seemed surprised there were travelers here at all, and for a place of merchants, that is bad. When you just have no one to trade with. Whatever the truth may be, it would be prudent to ascertain the current state of affairs. Prudent and practical, aye. We've not to lose by learning more. So ere we seek out Cryat's acquaintance, shall we see what information we can gather here in Yedlimad? Excellent. We didn't exactly get off to a flying start, but we'll make up for it. And we get Lassie. We get Umbra Lassie. Be well assured that I'm quite recovered. Lassie is truly a boon for unruly stomachs. Is it truly so amusing to see my hair bound? 'Tis how I used to wear it. A functional fashion. Perhaps you were confused by how you found me following Nidog's demise? It had fallen loose after the Chirurgeons removed me from my armor and put me to bed. I simply decided to leave it that way for a time, seeing as I would not don the Azure Dragoon helm again. Right, let's split up and make increase in town. Desiree, the pier is yours. Once you have learned what you can, we regroup by the Telephoroi of putting over the mere sight of it, maybe. Gemstone trader. Welcome, traveler. That's right, we are open for business again. Can't start wallowing when there's sales to be made, am I right? So, got any bright color gemstones you're willing to part with? Not right now, maybe later. A crate of fruit. The crate is laden with fruit, but they are on the verge of spoiling, as if they have been left out too long. PM? Gazing out from the pier, you spy boats moored off nearby isles with silhouettes of larger seafaring vessels farther away. Compared to other ports you've visited in the past, there appears to be very little activity. Gina Leal? Hello? What am I doing? Oh, recording my sales. Still do it daily out of habit, but I don't know why I bother. Hardly sell anything these days. Business has never been this terrible, but I suppose things could have been worse. I could have a consortium to keep afloat, like Khazal. I don't envy his position. Better to be alone with my little operation, I've come to realize. You're a traveler by the looks of you. If you have a moment, perhaps you could pay Khazal a visit? He'd be glad for tidings from abroad. Like as not, you find him at the Saltwind Sails, the harbor guild building across the water from here. If times are tough for me, they must be 1,000 times worse for Khazal. Can't help but worry for him. Well now, if it isn't a traveler, you're a rare sight in these unsettled times. People have been giving us a wide berth since that accursed tower suddenly appeared on Naruna. If it just stood there and loomed ominously, perhaps things would be fine after a fashion. But no, it had to spawn fell fiends as well. We still have our lives thanks to a radiant host, but business is as good as dead. What will become of us, only the gods know. And now we will visit this Khazal. But the Muskans aren't coming, but we already have everything they ordered. What are we supposed to do with it? I don't know, but yelling at me isn't going to help. All I know is that their plans have changed, and that's that. Look, you must have known this might happen. The Empire is at war with itself, and the provinces are in chaos. And then there's a tower sitting on our doorstep, spitting out monstrosities. The city has its defenses, but we've been afforded no protection out here. We can't blame foreigners for not wanting to take the risk. Ah, but this will be an enormous loss. Alright, forget about the Damascans. Surely some ships are still coming. We have fresh produce, handicraft, medicine, all the perennial Hunnish favorites. Our consortium works closely with merchants and artisans to supply only the finest wares. Quality is guaranteed. I know all these things, Khazal, I do. Which is why I regret to say I have nothing for you. All voyages have been cancelled or indefinitely postponed. And you are? Wait, you're a foreigner, are you not? A merchant? Please tell me you're a merchant. Sorry, but no. I see. It's a shame. I'm sorry, but we're discussing important matters. If you need something, please talk to one of the others. Excuse me? My name is Masya, and I'm here to see Khazal. Oh, it seems he's busy. I'll come back later then. Alright, let's look what this was about. Yes, can I help you? I remember seeing you back in the guild. You wanted to speak with Khazal too, did you? I'm Matsya, a fisherman of Akyali, a nearby village. I sell my catch to Khazal, who offers it to foreign merchants, but he hasn't bought anything for a while now. When I heard that the consortium has been struggling, I became worried and decided to come and see him. Just as soon as he's free anyway. He's a hard-working man, and I dare not disturb him. If I may ask, what is it that you do? I'm an adventurer. An adventurer, you say? And you travel the world, helping people? Then that must mean you're great at dealing with strangers. Please, won't you teach me to be like you? You see, I've brought some fresh fish with me. A portion I couldn't preserve. And I want to sell them. The problem is I'm terrible with people. I've ever only dealt with Khazal, and I can't talk to customers without getting my trunk in a twist. So please, as silly as it might sound, will you not peddle with fish in my stead and show me how it's done? Sure, I can do that. If you're willing, please let me know and we can begin at once. The events to follow cannot be skipped. You may wish to cancel any pending duty finder registrations. You do it then? Show me how to deal with customers? I'm in your debt. Right, please try peddling my fish to, shall we say, 3 people here in Yedlimad? I will observe you and learn. Matzia is now accompanying you. Yeah, basically the same as we had with Graha last time. So... Meruna. Yes. Greetings, friend. How fare you of late? Greetings to you too. I suppose I'm well enough, given the circumstance. Things have settled down somewhat, but was utter chaos when the tower first appeared. Everyone got whatever they could, trampling over each other to get to the city. Many remain there for now, but I could not stay away. Had to come back. Continue with my life, such as it is. Whether or not it's the right choice, only time will tell. No place like home, but don't do anything dangerous, huh? Oh, trust me, I don't. I make sure to keep well clear of the tower, and when more monsters emerge from it, I heed the Radiant Host's instructions. I hope they deal with it soon so we can get back to our normal lives. To the days when you could earn as much as you gave and tuck into a meal satisfied that you did good work. Speak of meals, why not have some fresh fish today? Ah, fresh fish, you say? Oh, you're a fishmonger. When you bait me like that, how can I not bite? Very well, give me some of your fish. Thank you for your custom. The catch of the day is shallow cod, delectable stewed in coconut milk or baked with a sprinkle of salt. I failed this one in the first time. That's why I knew not to be too pushy here. I believe... Yeah. In the beginning, before they patched it, you couldn't mount up or you risk losing your follower because you just outran them. But that is no longer so. Nashween. A hawker, are you? Do you sell fruit by chance? If so, I want to buy some Amra. Let's say a dozen. They don't need to be export quality. What do you need so many Amra for? Why, for eating, of course. It may seem like a lot, but of late, I go through that much in no time at all. I'm a stock trader by trade, and with no vessels coming these days, the wares are beginning to pile up. By the same token, nothing is coming in from overseas, but not a day goes by that someone doesn't come asking when the next shipment is arriving for this and that, and this and that. And all of it wears me down, and I find myself feeling constantly hungry. Are you sure you're actually hungry? You know, when I think on it, I'm not so sure. Rather than hungry, perhaps I've been feeling unfulfilled, and I try to fill the void by gorging on food I like. Do you like fish? Fish? I do like fish, as a matter of fact. Why do you ask? Oh, so you're a fishmonger. Apologies for the misunderstanding. Ah, seeing as you're here, do you happen to have akyali sardine? They're perfect in a spicy soup. Do we? We certainly do, madame. And if you like it spicy, I also recommend them pickled in oil with a generous amount of chilies. Oh, that does sound like a wonderful challenge. I didn't have fish in mind at first, but I dare say I enjoy these. Thank you. You succeed in making a sale. Sanjay, what's up? The store is like any other at first glance, yet in contrast to its scale, there's a distinct lack of activity. Yeah, problems with trade here. What is it? If you don't mind, I'm rather busy. Oh god, my stomach. Ugh. Ever sickness? No, nothing so unusual. In my hurry to get back to work, I just ate a little too quickly. Should take it easier. Eat more slowly and savor your food. Would that I could, but I can't afford to be idle. Like as not, circumstances will surely get worse before they get better. And so I'm working as hard as I can while I still can. The better to be prepared. How do you intend to prepare? By stockpiling supplies. For that I need to earn coins so I can buy food, medicine and what have you. Do we have anything suitable, Matzia? Oh, we do have some dried products too. Thavnair cucumber and puff paya fish. They're the last of a batch, so if you're interested you can have them for a discount. Truly? By all means, I'd take them all. You remembered what I told you earlier, that I preserve what I catch, which serves to show the importance of being attentive. Thank you so much for your demonstration. It was a truly eye-opening experience. Come, let us return to the pier. Thank you so much for showing me how to talk to customers. You managed to sell to everyone you approached. Any merchant in Razatan would be envious of your success. Watching you at work was truly inspiring. By applying the lessons I've learned, I hope to one day peddle as well as you. You're welcome. Still, there's only so much I can do alone. I hope that things will return to normal for Khazal soon. I thought I heard a familiar voice. And who should it be but Matzia? Khazal, have you finished your business at the guild? So you were there too. Forgive me, try as I might, I can't find any buyers. With no ships coming in and hardly any going out, there simply aren't any options. At this rate... So, you can't buy my fish anymore? No. I'm sorry, Matzia, I truly am. But for now, you must peddle your own goods. But by myself, I can't... I want to help you, I do. But as it stands, I can barely help myself. I've poured my all into the consortium, and I'll be damned if I let it fall apart. I have friends and families depending on me, and I can't... I won't fail them. The sisters is my witness. Khazal. Not to worry, using what I've learned from you, I'm sure I'll manage. Somehow. But I'd best return to my village. My thanks again, and please take care on the road. There you are. Gotten over the Aether sickness, have you? Mayhap owing to the island's small size, the tower's impact upon the people's life does appear more pronounced here than in Eorzea. I see you've been busy. Managed to learn a tidbit or two at rest? I see. We also heard that the tower is affecting many locals' livelihoods, but to think that it would be to such an extent... For another notable, if not wholly unexpected discovery, disappearance and kidnappings are disturbingly commonplace. As before, the culprits are almost certainly tempered Imperial soldiers. And as before, they mean to use the faith of the hapless thralls to call forth a lunar primal. Business as usual for the Telephoroi. Good, but that shall be it for this episode. Next time we continue looking into Thavnair and what's going on here. And maybe help Nidana. Until next time then, I'm Ace and don't get lost.